Yes, sir.
Anybody see that? Okay, it's our standard procedure to say the preamble. So stand with us as we go over it. You can stand silently or repeat after me. We the people.
We the people
Of the Aboriginal Republic.
of the Aboriginal Republic
Of North. Oh, y'all, we sound like we in a grave in here. Hold on. Let me stop that. Maybe it's me.
Let's go.
I gotta get my tonation up. We the people.
We the people
Of the Aboriginal Republic.
of the Aboriginal
Of
Republic
North America.
of North America,
Asserting our
asserting our
natural Aboriginal rights.
natural Aboriginal rights
As the oldest recorded.
as the oldest recorded
Aboriginal indigenous peoples.
Aboriginal indigenous peoples
Of the Americas.
of the Americas,
Consisting of.
consisting of
An Aboriginal Union.
an Aboriginal Union
Of indigenous peoples.
of indigenous peoples
Living in accord.
living in accord
With natural law.
with natural
The
law,
law of our ancestors.
the law of our ancestors.
Do hereby recognize.
Do hereby recognize
All nationals.
all nationals
Of the Aboriginal Republic of North America.
of the Aboriginal Republic of North America
As a unified community.
as a unified community,
Establish our divine right.
establish our divine right
To self-rule.
to self-rule
For common defense.
for common defense
Of our nation.
of our nation,
A complete unified will.
a complete unified will
For progress and prosperity.
for progress and prosperity
By and for our people.
by and for our people,
Establishing justice.
establishing justice
By way of natural law.
by way of natural law
And equality.
and equality
And complete autonomy.
and complete autonomy
As a nation.
as a nation.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. You may be seated. Bring the energy in. To the online audience, thank you for being patient with our starting a few minutes late. Today we are going to talk in two parts. The first part is about the coming fast. We have a 30-day fast that starts tomorrow. And we're going to go to the end of December with what we call our indigenous Ramadan celebration. But it's a 30-day fast to get all of the stuff inside of our bodies that are not in alignment with what we just said, natural law, out of our bodies, to retune ourselves, to get ready to the post-winter solstice energies, and to get ready for the new year to propel things that we want to propel in our lives into it, and things out of it that that we don't need. How many people have ever fasted before? Anybody in here took a fast? Longer than 30 days. Okay. Excuse me. So our fast is suited towards transitioning our people first into understanding how to improve their own willpower. All right. Food is natural to us. It's a natural thing. You had the urge to eat as a part of our biological dynamic. However, some of the things that we are calling foods are not food. So we're going to go through today and talk about how you can improve your health biologically and how that will also improve your mind. All right? Because a weak body cannot be the host for a strong mind. If the body is weak, then the mind is weak. All right? So we have to focus on improving both. How many people have ever did this fast that we've done before? Okay? All right, so we're going to talk about how we operate this fast, you know, what we do inside of it, and our aims and objectives in all aspects of what we're doing in Army. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to be showing some slides and different things to help us with understanding the concept of fasting and probably to retune your concept of nutrition. All right? Because we've all been doing things possibly that are damaging to us out of ignorance. Okay? And we may have practiced Ramadan as Sunni Muslims, so we're not doing that. We're doing it in a methodology that will actually invigorate the energy inside of your temple. And it also, if you follow the prayers, the meditation, the visualizations, the practice of building your will and your character will improve you in all the other aspects of your life as well. And so every year we do this kind of as like a tune-up. You know, every year you got to check on your car or check on something, check on your house, make sure everything is functioning. Well, we need to be checking on our bodies to make sure that the place where we actually live at is in order. So the first thing is the type of fasting that we're going to do. All right, the type of fasting that we are going to do. It will be based on where you are right now. So everybody's not going to do the fast the same way because everybody's not on the same level. Some people can go 30 days with just water. Some people can go already on a fruit-based diet, so they can go 30 days on a regular fruit-based diet. Some people are already on one meal a day, so they can do that. Some people are not doing those things. Some people are on medication. So you can't go from medication to doing a water fast. You will throw yourself into a shock detox state. And therefore, you know, dizziness, nausea, passing out, those things will happen because you are not gradually detoxing. Okay? Now, the first thing that is important that I want to focus on before we take a break and come to the second part, because the second part we're going to do or finish our conversation on business structure. So I'm going to go for about an hour, take a break, and then come back. Hydration. Hydration. Hydration is the process by which the body absorbs water. All right? Absorbs water. 90+% of the population is suffering from dehydration because they're constantly eating dehydrated foods and drinking water that increases dehydration. Okay? And so you can test yourself. What I'm going to give you inside of this class is very practical things, so you don't need a physician, you don't need an expert. Your body will be the tool to make you an expert. And so the first thing you're going to do, you can do it right now live in class, is the dehydration test. And to see if water is circulating throughout your body. There are 3 parts of your body you can do this on. You're going to take your fingernail, take your hand, and scratch it. Scratch it. Keep scratching it like you're scratching something. Now look at your hand, and if you're getting ash marks, whiteness, anything on it, that means that you are dehydrated. Then you can go to your forearm and do the same thing. If you start to get getting ash, you're dehydrated. You're dehydrated. So that means that your body is not absorbing water. All right? Then you can go to your calf muscle and take the lower side of your body, which is usually where you also get it at. Scratch it. And if you see the white, that means the body is not circulating all the way through your lymphatic system. So you got lymphatic blockages. Now, literally, you have 13 major joints in your body.
Say that again about the calf.
The calf muscle, you can scratch your leg on your calf muscle, and if it starts getting ashy, that means that the water is not circulating through the lymphatic system all the way through the body. So now, at each of the joints in your body, you got 13 major joints, you have what's called lymph nodes. Lymph nodes. And they're connected by lymphatic vessels. So you heard about the circulatory system where you got the arteries and veins, that carries blood. The lymphatic vessels carry water. And at the joints, you have the lymph nodes, because what the lymph nodes do is they add electricity to the water. It's like a dam or something, hydroelectric dam. So it keeps the water charged because the water is saturating the cells. The cells are surrounded inside the cell and around the cell with water. And so now the water stabilizes the electrical environment, if it's good water. All right. And so now you might have no scratch marks on your thigh, but scratch marks on your calf. So that's telling you that the lymphatic vessels inside of your knee are clogged. And so that's going to require you to do something. Now, the best exercise that you can do is to get a soft substance like a mattress or something on, and get on it and do this. Up and down. All right? You're doing that up and down, your lymphatic vessels in the lymph nodes and the vessels themselves respond to gravity. So every time you go up, you break gravity, they open. Every time you go down, they squeeze and close. So walking is the best exercise, but this is an exercise that will drain your lymphatic system, and you can continue to drink water while you're doing it. All right?
Is that any form of jumping?
Jumping rope,
Well, I do have
dancing,
to dance, so yeah.
dance.
That's
All of that is lymphatic work, because the lymphatic system does not have a pump like the heart.
right.
Like the circulatory system has the heart. So the only way it can move the fluid is if you're moving. So exercising, walking, little jog, whatever you do that's exercise, trampoline, all right? Astronauts, when they go into space, they use rebound exercise, which is trampolines, so that their body doesn't go into atrophy, because there's no gravity in space. Or there is gravity, but it's a different type of gravity. All right?
So,
And so, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. So, so children jumping on the bed.
They get happy.
Right.
They're happy, they're excited, they're jumping, you wonder what's going on. Their body is cleansing itself. And they're getting electrical charge from the jumping. So you're like, oh, stop jumping, because they get so excited about to fall off the bed. You know what I mean? But they're literally charging themselves. It's like a battery operation. So jumping jacks, you know what I mean? Good form of exercise to warm your body up. All right? Anything that breaks gravity temporarily will open the lymphatic valves, okay, because they respond to gravity. All right? So that's exercises you could do every day. You could literally get up for 5 minutes or so and do some rebound exercise and drink some water, and you've done most of the exercise that you need to move the lymph through your body. All right? And then you can do your test, your scratch test. And if you have a good water, or you're doing what I'm about to say do, then you'll find that you won't have dehydration. Now, the consequences of dehydration is full body breakdown. I'm going to go over some of the consequences so you can get it. But you need to know where your best sources of water are. Source 1. The best source of water on a planet is fruit. Is fruit. It's not drinking water out of a bottle. Fruit are your first and best source of clean water, because the tree has a natural filtration process to drain out the bad chemicals and all the other things inside of the water in our environment. Better than the Kangen machine, better than all these other artificial methods. And so, one of the signs of poor nutrition is not eating enough fruit, which automatically makes you dehydrated. All right? Now, in Western science, they're teaching you that fruit has too much sugar, so lower your carb content and increase your protein. Right? Or you have diabetes and they say, don't eat the fruit, because your blood sugar is going to go up. But in diabetes, blood sugar is the second-hand problem. It's not the first causation of diabetes. Low insulin and then blood sugar. Low insulin is not the cause of diabetes. And the insulin that you're getting has E. coli patented viruses in it.
Oh, my goodness.
You're a walking E. coli machine.
What about the people that are on the dialysis machines?
They don't have E. coli necessarily, unless, it's a cascade of diseases, but they're usually using bicarbonates to help clean the blood.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different.
Okay.
A little bit different. Yeah. So best source of hydration is what?
Fruit.
Fruit. The first thing that should touch your mouth as food every day is fruit. The first thing that should touch your mouth is fruit. All right? Now you want to buy the fruit organic. And so for those of you who already practice the raw food diet, or you're pretty much vegetarian, on the fast, the type of fast that you want to do is all fruit. All right? All fruit. If you're not used to eating one meal a day, then you can do 2. All right? Light, liquid fruits right before sunrise, and then when sun sets, you can make a whole plethora of different types of fruit. All right? Whole plethora of different types of fruit. Okay? When you eat the fruit, you want to wash it properly, thoroughly. The best things to wash them in are some lime and non-aluminum baking soda. You scrub the fruit. All right? Wash them. That's if you're eating the skins of the fruit. If you're removing the skins, like apples and other things, then of course you can just, remove those things. The reason why we prescribe some removing of some skins is because the skin is a natural barrier of protection for the fruit, and therefore any toxins from the outside or other things that are trying to get into it are captured and held and bound in the skin. So by removing the skins of things like apples and other things, you can lower your detox, lower the level of toxicity. All right? And of course, the pulp of the fruit is pure carbohydrate, which is carbon, hydrogen ions, and oxygen, which are the chemicals that you want to get inside your body for optimal health, because they give the cell pure fuel. All right? So if you're already on a complete vegetarian diet where you weren't eating high levels of starches and fleshes, then you can do all fruit. And you would do the fruit at sunset, where you are eating the fruit. And I put the schedules actually in our group online, and I'll make sure I email those out for sunset, when sunset is. But everybody should know when sunset is, when you can't see the sun anymore. It usually sets around 4:50, between 4:50 and 5 o'clock. Okay? So that's when you can eat during the fast for 30 days. All right? During the day, you are not participating in eating. All right? You want to fast throughout the day. And that is a part of the discipline that is necessary for us to strengthen ourselves throughout this 30-day period. Because you will have the urge to eat. You're going to have what you're calling hunger pains. What hunger pains really are is parasites that want nitrogen. There's no such thing as a natural hunger pain. There may be such thing as fatigue, but not a hunger pain.
Well, it's not. You're telling me if my stomach start bubbling, I'm like, yo, I haven't ate. I'm a little chubby under this bread basket.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm hungry. I don't know why I'm hungry. You're saying it's parasites that's doing that.
So what's the first thing? You said your stomach starts bubbling or growling, right? Or like, you get that little thing.
Yeah.
That is fermentation taking place.
Right.
Fermentation is the process by which parasites cause things that you've already eaten to continue to rot.
Right.
And then, at the time that they start desiring food, they secrete a hormone, it's not even a hormone, excuse me, an enzyme that's called ghrelin.
Right.
And they saturate your cells with it, so they make you hungry. The parasites make you hungry.
So what do you do to prevent that?
Get rid of parasites. How you get rid of parasites is you clean your diet up. From whatever stage that you're at now, start taking the things out that might be toxic.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
The flesh, high starch.
Right.
All right. Lots of beans. Those are the things that are too heavy, so you gradually can remove some of those to improve your diet.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, second level. Let's say you eat flesh right now, right? Beans and rice most of the time, whatever it may be. You don't want to go to a all fruit diet. You want to keep some vegetation inside of your diet, all right? And that vegetation could be things like arugula, romaine lettuce leaves, certain types of cabbages, all right, other types of organic produce. And inside of the book, Black Biology, if you get the ebook that we put inside of the group online, or I don't have any here at Black and Nobel because I got to get some more copies, but if you get that book, we give you a list of foods that you want to watch out for. I'm going to show you some of them today, all right, that you consider to be healthy, but it's not healthy. And one of the reasons why they're not healthy is as soon as you get to vegetation, there are certain ones that cause dehydration and demineralization. And so now you could think you're eating green, but you are eating mean. You'll hurt yourself. Okay? But you do want to incorporate high vegetation if you're on a high starch diet or flesh. If you're also eating flesh, you can incorporate beans like lentils and chickpeas as a way to gradually remove the craving for flesh. All right? Because you don't want to have, you know, too hard of a detox on yourself. So you can make soups and other things during your fast. And it'll be the same timing for everybody. Okay? If you're on medication, you will need to seek some counseling before you stop the medication. All right? You could be on medication for high blood pressure, diabetes, any of these other things, and we don't want you to stop taking your medication without a good consultation. So we'll give you the information for getting a phone conference, or if you're in Philly, an in-person conference. Okay, so those are some of the things, and if you get the ebook, it's only a couple of dollars. We have 45 pages of menu, things that you can make in the early morning hours or at your meals, and we will, we give you the ins and outs of what to eat. Supplementation. Supplementation is the process by which we add in concentrated minerals usually, or some type of form of hydration, or some type of other supplement to help us detox and to help infuse us with energy via mineral elements. And so if you're going to do supplementation, you need to understand the rules of supplementation. You need to educate yourself. First thing is, do not take vitamins. Say it again. Do not take vitamins. One of the reasons why you don't want to take vitamins is you don't know what they're made of, and you might not know the companies that are making them, or what they're making them from, and how much damage it can cause to your body. All right? Most of the vitamin supplements are made synthetically from petroleum. So literally, they're taking oil substances from the earth that have fermented and broken down, screening them through a process called nuclear magnetic resonance or X-ray crystallography or something, and finding these compounds and then introducing these compounds as synthetic substances into other things. So you need to be careful. You might pick up a can of almond milk, like, oh, I don't want to eat regular milk, I'm going to eat almond milk, and then you see in the almond milk it says, oh, vitamin K, vitamin D. So where are those vitamins? Are those vitamins from the almonds, or are they put inside of it? You need to know about the company's processes. Better yet, if you're going to eat almonds, you need to know how to prepare them, because they're a nut, and you don't want to eat nuts because nuts are poisonous for the most part. But if you've been eating flesh, almonds will be 10 times better. So you can soak those almonds in water and lemon to break down the phytic acid and the toxins in it. And then you can take those almonds, put it in a blender with some alkaline water, blend them up, and you got almond milk. So now you don't have to go to the store and buy almond milk. So anybody who's going to eat seeds throughout this fast, you need to soak nuts. You need to soak the nuts. You have to soak the nuts because nuts have natural oils in them that are toxins. And they are high in phytic acid, which strips you of minerals, and they're also high in nitrogen, which is an electrical destabilizer. Okay? So if you're going to do seeds, seeds are fine. The types of seeds are fine are very few. But if you find some of them, pumpkin seeds, great. Black sesame seeds, great. Watermelon seeds, great. Great. Sunflower seeds, depending on the company, they might be infused with estrogen. Sunflower seeds can be high in estrogen. Flax seeds, a no-no. Extra high in estrogen. Alright? What other type of seeds y'all eating? Hemp is good. Hemp is a natural seed that's good. Buy all of them organic. When you buy organic, what organic means is when they fertilize or use fertilizers, they did not use genetically altering pesticides, nor did they use high ammonium nitrate chemical fertilizers. They use carbon-based fertilizers in the fertilization process. Now, it is a fact that too many of us are eating too many mucus-forming foods on a daily basis. And when you eat mucus-forming foods, it causes you to age quickly. It clogs every system in your body. It makes you emotionally unstable. All right? And it causes disease biologically. All right? And psychologically in some instances, many instances. And so, we need to understand that the mucus-forming foods are our greatest problem. And so I'm going to identify some of those when I open up this slide. Okay? So the first thing I want to do is see if I can open the Black Biology book and give you some foods to stay away from. Foods that are going to challenge you in what we're calling disease. So give me a moment to open this up. Hopefully everybody here can see. All right, here we go. All right. Still blurry over here, but hopefully we can get it bigger. Just a little bit bigger. Full view on it. All right, so this is the book. This is what it looks like when you see it online. If you go to the website, and the first thing I want to go to is foods to watch out for that you think are safe, that cause dehydration and demineralization. Actually, first we'll define what food is. Because what you're going to find out when you fast is some of the things that you think are food are actually drugs. And the key to identifying a drug is that it creates an addiction. Creates an addiction. All right, give me a moment to scroll through this and get to it. Have I said anything that's confusing to anybody so far?
Not for me.
Okay. If I'm saying something that is not clear to you, then I'll take a moment to slow down and get you up to speed. All right. Let's start with drugs. Anything that interfaces with the body that causes sickness, disease, altered mind states that ill impact proper judgment and conduct. Any substance that alters emotions, moods in a dysfunctional way and adds no energy to the body, but deprives it of its hydrogen ions, oxygen, water, carbon, and other minerals. That's a drug. All right? So no matter how much you like collard greens, as soon as you eat them, I don't care how long you cook them, you know, they cook them for 2 days down south. Got the greens cooking for 2 days. Barely pay the light bill because the electricity is going on now. And you eat those collard greens, and they have these substances called oxalates in them. Oxalates. O-X-Y-A-L-A-T-E. Oxalates are structures, molecular structures, that bind minerals up. And so now you can't absorb the minerals into your cellular structure. You can't use them in your mitochondria. They can't give you any energy. They can't help you build structure because they are bound to these compounds, literally like mummified, wrapped up. All right. And so, collard greens are very high in these oxalates. Now, those types of foods are made for animals with ruminant stomachs. All right. Ruminant stomachs means two things. They have stomachs, multiple stomach pouches, and they have enzymes in them that can break down the stuff, oxalates. One of them is called phytase. You find this in cow tracts, digestive tracts. All right, so you can't digest collard greens. All these types of beans, soybeans. All they're going to do is give you gas, which means they're fermenting, which means they're rotting you, increasing age, changing chemistry in the endocrine glands. All right? Soy literally has a substance called aromatase, and aromatase is a genetic code that is used in changing the gender of animals. Neutralizing the testosterone in animals, neutralizing the progesterone in animals, and creating high estrogen environments. So soy literally has a gay gene in it. So you're looking at your child and you wonder why they're going through puberty at 8 instead of 13 or 14? It's because of all the soy lecithin that's in everything.
Everything.
Yeah, they put it in everything.
Yeah.
Right. The question is, who is they? Because once you find out who they is, you find out why they're doing it. And what it does to the brain. All right? It makes the brain much more pliable and obedient. These are all Nazi Germany experiments exported to the United States in the 1940s. So they figured out how to change the frontal lobe and other parts of the brain to make a compliant, obedient population to the herdist psychology that we talked about last week. Food. What is food? Any living nutritional part of a plant that interfaces with the human body and adds vitality, energy, sustains health physically, mentally, and spiritually. Foods add phototropic sun and plant-based hydrogen ions, oxygen, water, carbon, other minerals as fuel for the body. Everybody in here should be able to go outside and run 1 mile without stopping right now. Easy. Everybody in here should be able to put another human being on their back and carry them for at least 1 block without passing out. Everybody, the men in here, should be able to get a pull-up bar, at least do 10 pull-ups. All right? What if you had to carry your child in a dangerous situation for 5 blocks and you had to run? Just think about it. Don't say it can't happen. It's happened in cities in this country before. All right? What if you had to run 1 mile to save your own life, to get out of a dangerous situation? All right? So all of us should be exercising our body. We don't have to exercise like to have energy. What you'll find out is that when you're on the right diet, you don't have to exercise that much. But your energy levels will stay optimal. All right? And so now we know what food is.
All right, so when you say run,
Run.
you mean run like run or like speed walk? Because you know
Run. I mean like run.
Literally
I mean like a jog. Like you should be able to jog a mile. You should be able to jog a mile easy. Right?
So that's a goal.
Yeah.
Good goal.
Yeah. Everybody should be able to jog a mile. Easy. Now if you eating the standard American diet, all right, and not exercising your body, then you have a problem. Now, even if you are exercising your body, because you got some people who just diesel and they think they're obese too. They're obese too. Arnold Schwarzenegger was obese. That's a sign of obesity. All right, because the body mass ratio index is not proper, and when you have all of that, it's weighing down on your spine, it's weighing down on your kidneys. All right, you're taking all the extra creatine and all the substances that's going to have you flopping, and your wife unhappy after a while. All right, the steroids, all of these things you're taking, and look at Arnold Schwarzenegger now. He look like he need some cups. He's looking crazy right now. You know what I mean? I'll be back. Exactly. He's looking quite crazy right now. So, let's go to some foods that you want to watch out for. And this is all based on a well-organized study of the genetic structure of people of our genetic pools. All right, let's go to vitamins. First of all, I said something about vitamins and I want to back it up with science. Right. Vitamins is short for vital amines. Vital amines. All right. Amongst Europeans, vitamins were discovered by this guy, Casimir Funk. What a name. Mr. Funk. He was a Polish scientist who studied nutrition. And when he studied vital amines, he was studying nitrogen. And he found vitamins in these things in his studies. Cod liver oil. That's where the first vitamin A substance was found. Rice bran, vitamin B1. Citrus, vitamin C. Cod liver oil, vitamin D. Vitamin B2, meat and eggs. Vitamin E, wheat germ oil. B12, liver, eggs, and animal products. We told y'all that B2, get your B12. B12 is a fungus.
Oh, snap.
You need to get your B12. Who needs to get their B12? Not if you got melanin.
Okay, got it.
Wow.
Not if you got
Talking
money.
about some other people. It's not even talking about you.
Right.
You addressing us like we are the world, and we ain't. All right?
Good.
And look at what his sources where he found it: meat, dairy, eggs, meat, dairy, eggs, meat, dairy products, grain. All right. So, if you understand what vital amines are the molecular compounds that are being detoxed by something called carboxylic acids, carboxylic ions, and carboxylic salts. These are the primary compounds of melanin that are attaching themselves to amines and taking them to the liver to be excreted out into the kidneys and then out of the body. So when you find them in the liver, a physician might tell you, yeah, the vitamins are made in the liver. He's not telling you that they're made in the liver by a substance that is an immunologic process to get rid of the nitrogen.
Right.
He's just telling you they're being made, so you think they're being constructed so the body can use them.
Yeah.
The body doesn't use any amino acids. The amino acids that you have in the complex system of 22 amino acids are actually melanin uniting with the nitrogen to detox it from the body. There's a scientific word for it called carboxylation. Carboxylation. Carboxylation is the process by which melanin detoxes nitrogen. Now you're not going to learn that in the book. What they're going to tell you in the book is, oh yeah, the carbon is attaching to the amino acid. Well, okay, why is it doing that? But we need amino acids. Who needs amino acids? All right. So now they're talking to the paler population of people that are mutants. I'm not insulting anybody. I'm talking about mutation of biological structures. The African or the indigenous people don't have those mutations. All right. We're only getting them now by miscegenation, mixing of race. Okay. And so, get your vitamins. Get your vitamins. No, do not go get any vitamins. If you're going to supplement, you're going to supplement with herbal substances best in a liquid form that are mineral-based. Mineral-based substances are what you are supposed to supplement with. They're going to help guarantee regeneration and repair of tissue, and access to carbohydrates, which are the fuel of the cell. Water and carbohydrates are the fuel of the cell. The body doesn't burn minerals. It uses them to build structure, to rebuild tissue. It burns carbon and water as a fuel, or an oxygen, CHO. That's the combustion cycle in the cell. It's called cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is how a cell uses energy. The only part that a cell will use for energy can come from a plant or a fruit. Nothing else can give the body energy. And of course, there's water inside of the plant. So you eat your steak. What happens when you eat your steak and your potatoes? You go to sleep. Why are you going to sleep? Because sleep is what you do when your body needs energy.
Right.
But I just ate. Because eating is supposed to be for energy. But I went to sleep. Yeah, you got niggitis. Along with your arthritis and your meningitis and all your other itis. Because when you look itis up in a Latin dictionary, medical dictionary, it will tell you that itis means inflammation and mucus, which is pus. Nigga-itis is a nigga full of pus. So as soon as you eat your steak, everybody pus is everywhere. So the body gotta make you unconscious. Like, let me knock this nigga out. Knock this nigga out so he can stop eating. Because he about to kill me. No, literally. Y'all, listen, y'all laughing, right? But the body is way smarter than the mind. In the sense, the weak mind. The body's like, hold on, let me knock this nigga out. Next thing you do, you're going to wake up and have to go to the bathroom. Good. Body like, damn, this nigga is tripping. I'm trying to stay here. It wants to live. The body wants to live. The cells want to live. The nigga wants to die. Niggas commit suicide in America. Slow suicide, but it's still suicide. So look how smart of an intelligence is guiding your body. It's strong enough to even overcome our own stupidity. You know, it's constantly setting up ways to remain here and healthy. That's what it's doing. Okay? So don't go to GNC, don't go buy up a whole bunch of vitamins and get sick. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get sick. And you have Casimir Funk, a funky white scientist, to thank. That's his name. All right. You want to get a taste of reality? Look at this guy. This is a man that said that the last time he had a meal was when he was 12 years old. Wow. He's 80 today. They said, wait a minute. You got to be lying. So what do you eat? He said, I don't eat. I just told you. Last time I had a meal was when I was 12. He said, I eat sunlight. That's what he said. So they said, all right, we're going to test you. We're going to put you in a room and see if how long you can go without food. First, we're going to test you for 10 days. All right. So this scientist right here, let's go down, hold on. Let me see if I can get there. This scientist in India, Dr. Sudhir V. Shah, tested Pralajani for 10 days and kept him in a room, video recorded. The only time he could leave was to go out and do a solar gazing. So in 10 days, they said that he didn't drink any water, which according to Western science, after 72 hours of not drinking water, you're supposed to die.
Right, that's right.
Or almost be there.
That's what they say.
He didn't drink water for 10 days. He did not die. He didn't eat for 10 days. He didn't have a bowel movement for 10 days. And he told them that he doesn't have bowel movements. They said, okay, wait a minute. They brought him here to test him for 100 days. Scientists here test him for 100 days, no food, only solar gates. So he wasn't hungry. I told you, hunger pains are parasites that want nitrogen. What happens to a healthy body when it wants food is you get fatigued. You start feeling a little tired. And so now you refuse fuel with some fruit and plants. And then you get the vitality back. That's it. Or you go sit out in the sun like a plant. And you get energy. Or you solar gaze. Or you get some type of water system in your body. So we don't need to be told that, oh, Ali's telling us to eat 1 meal a day because that's that Elijah Muhammad stuff. You're going to die. You're not going to die. Alright? You're not going to die.
See, I actually have a friend from Kenya, and that's what he does. He only eats 1 meal a day. And he's always done that. So, like, anytime you have more than 1 meal, you can't, if you bring a whole big plate of food in front of him, he don't want to eat. It turns him off.
Right.
He just wants a little bit.
Portion.
It's not even much.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll eat a handful of nuts. He's like, okay, that's my meal. I'm sitting there like, what the? You know what I mean? It's just something just real simple.
Yeah, because now, because I'm talking about biological, most of the energy should be used for creativity and spiritual energy purposes, or creativity. I'll say creativity so I don't spook you out, because it's going to come around as we're going through. But let me get to this little list, because I wanted to show you this before we go to that phase. All right, foods that you don't want to eat. And we're going to tell you why. All right, first let's go through the 13 most powerful foods. Let's do that. The most powerful food that you can digest is prayer and meditation. First. Literally, prayer and meditation feed energy to the nervous system in the body. The nervous system is wires, just like the wires in this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so, what happens when you're told to meditate? What's the first thing you're told to do? Close your eyes.
Right.
Why are you closing your eyes? Anybody have any idea why people close their eyes for prayer? All right, okay. So when you're looking at me, you are bombarding the brain with radiation, which we call light. Light is radiation. All right? And so by bombarding the brain with radiation constantly, the earth turns to night, and then the brain switches its chemistry. It starts secreting other hormones, and you get tired and you want to go to sleep. It's literally the excessive radiation during the day that causes the body to need to rest at night. One of the reasons. All right. So now we close our eyes because it does what? It calms the nervous system. It relaxes it. All right. Now, relaxation sets in, the best way I can do it, to say it today, is makes your body more receptive to less radiation, which is yang energy. The relaxed mode is yin, which is feminine, all right, magnetic. And so when you relax your body and you close your eyes, you're making your body, like an antenna, more receptive to other energies, more subtle energies. And those more subtle energies can now allow for you to attenuate, like you do when you're in dreams and you see something, you have deja vu. You're not going to have deja vu while you wake, you have it while you sleep. The reason why you're going to have it while you sleep is because your body is in an electrical state to receive those messages. And what is deja vu? Seeing something before it happens in the physical world, in the dream world. That's the brain showing you the power and capacity of the mathematics that is a part of its design. It can literally calculate on things before they physically manifest. based on what it's experiencing now. Right? It's like rolling dice. There's only going to be a certain amount of numbers that show up. And if you calculate the speed at which you're rolling, and you take a physics person, you can say, well, something out of 1,000 times, you're going to hit the number 7. And you will hit that number 7 based on how fast you're rolling. The dice are going at 3 miles per hour, and they're calculated that it can roll up to, 12 different numbers on each dice. All right, or 6 different numbers, 12 together. Whatever. I'm saying you can come up with a formula for that. The brain can do the same thing. All right. The brain can calculate. And so the brain's spiritual power to calculate happens when it's in its most relaxed state. Right? And so the same is for closing your eyes. The reason why you close your eyes and you try to go in a place that's dark to make prayer or to meditate is because now you're calming the body and making it more receptive to those subtle energies. So you're feeding the nervous system, right? Literally, magnetic energy. The next greatest energy is sunlight or food. Sunlight. We went over that. Because we are literally walking plants. So we need photosynthesis to take place. The only difference between us and the plant is the plant has chlorophyll, we have melanin. So the plant uses the chlorophyll, right, in order to absorb the nutrients from the sun to catalyze other chemical operations inside of it. And we do the same thing with the sun. You go out in the sun, you get darker. Because it's changing the chemistry in the body. All right? It's giving you more energy. So sunlight is the second most important food. Yes?
So, I've always had this issue. I hate when somebody said, oh, we're animals. It irritated me. I'm like, I am not an animal. And all you ever hear is that we're animals, we're animals, we're animals. I'm like, no, I'm not an animal. So when you just made that statement right there, when you said, we're walking plants, I'm like, I get with that better than talking
Right.
about animal.
Right. The connotation of the intelligence level of animals is not equal to humans at all. I mean, it's just there's no other being on this planet that has the intelligence of a man or a woman. We're a separate species, literally.
So why do they lump us into the animal kingdom? I mean,
They.
Right, they.
There it is.
There they go.
There it is.
It's possible that they think that they're animals.
Are they?
I'll leave that to the speculation of, because that's an opinionated question.
Right.
In some respects. Well, we'll leave that. Maybe perhaps if they get some sunlight, they'll start thinking different.
Well, what about chlorophyll? It's okay to take chlorophyll, right?
It's okay if you're getting it from a proper source.
Okay, what would be the proper source?
The proper source, the best source to get chlorophyll is to eat plants.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Best.
Gotcha.
Second best is if you get a supplement from a company, they might be extracting the chlorophyll from some plant plus adding in synthetic things to it. So you want to read the ingredients and look it up and call the company. Like, yo, how are you making this chlorophyll?
Okay.
And most of them are making it from algae or alfalfa or something like that.
You have a company that you presently use that you know is bona fide?
For the chlorophyll?
Yes.
Yes. I use the company that sells the copper-based chlorophyll it seems in Whole Foods. What's the name of this company? I don't even have my elixirs with me. I forget the name of this company. But they sell the new company has it in the dropper. They're the only ones that really sell it in the dropper like that. I forget the name of this company. I'll make sure I get that to you. I get chlorophyll from that company, and then I make my diet, my basic chlorophyll. Now, some things to watch out for. Spirulina. Do not eat spirulina.
That's supposed to be a superfood.
Eat chlorella, but do not eat spirulina. Spirulina is a cyanobacteria. Right. Cyanobacteria, sometimes considered a gram-positive bacteria, sometimes considered a gram-negative bacteria. But it's not natural chlorophyll. Right. They have chloroplast, You get into technical terms, but it's not chlorophyll, which means they have a green film inside of them, but they are in the family of fungi. Okay? Chlorella is different. All right? Chlorella is much different. So spirulina, if you watch your intake of it, sometimes it increases gas, sometimes increases dehydration, sometimes it increases gastrointestinal problems because it's releasing more carbon dioxide, because that's what fungi do when they get in the body. All right. But you can look up the term cyanobacteria. Cyan, C-Y-A-N-O, and the word bacteria, and spirulina is a cyanobacteria. You want to get chlorella or plant-based chlorophyll. Alright. And you'll see the difference. You'll see the difference in supplementing the two. If you do it, over long periods, at least a week or so.
I was doing a combination each morning. I used to add spirulina, and I gave it to a friend of mine, and literally within about 15 minutes they threw up. And anytime they would use spirulina, they would throw up. And I didn't have that reaction, but they did.
They were more sensitive.
So I had to change in order to, for that particular thing, because I was marketing it as well.
Right.
And I had to change it all together because certain people had reactions. I didn't get why. So
Right.
what I do is I replaced it with moringa.
Yeah, that's a good
Instead
replacement.
of using.
Yeah, that's a good replacement. Good replacement. The reason why you want to get chlorophyll-based foods anyway is because it is concentrated sunlight. So when you think of a plant that goes through photosynthesis and it has that green substance in it that you call chlorophyll, and you eat it, you are getting sunlight that has been chemical compounds, which we call chlorophyll. All right. And so sunlight is the second most important food. Then air, clean air, causes an aerobic environment. Aerobic environments kill fungi, yeast, and other particles of that nature. Water, next. Food to hydrate the body and give it energy. Food that's best for the body for building structure is the hemp plant and the seeds. Next biological plant that will be best besides the fruit and vegetables that we could name is quinoa. Excellent blood builder. Then burdock leaves. Romaine lettuce, excellent for chromium. Most people have eyesight problems, diabetes. You are low in vanadium and chromium. Romaine lettuce will help. Red onions, to help with nervous problems, repairing nerves, the myelin sheath on, and generally strengthening the nervous system. Sea moss, a master, and not from a base that's outside of the tropics, because you will be buying a bunch of sea moss. The poorest sea mosses only grow in tropical environments. So make sure your source is getting it from a tropical environment. Can be used as a drink. A natural sweetener, so you don't have to use sugar, honeys that are not good for you, some of them. You would want to use dates as a natural sweetener to replace artificial sugars. Foods you want to stay from, foods you want to stay away from, all right? You don't want to eat these foods because they are high in nitrogen, they are high in phosphorus, they are high in sulfur, they are anaerobic, they decrease oxygen in the body, they cause dehydration. All flesh is not proper for the human body. It will dehydrate the human body, it will increase nitrogen, it will increase waste, it will increase disease, it will increase mucus. All dairy products from any animal, milk from a cow, lamb, goat, any dairy products, especially cheese. Cheese is probably the worst food that you could ever eat on earth. It is fermented animal milk. And when you think about the milk of an animal, think about your lymph. It's basically blood without without the heme in it. So you're literally eating fermented animal blood.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it to get somebody some inspiration. Alright. All breads that have yeast. If you're eating a bread that has yeast, you are going to create a problem for yourself. Constipation, alright, weakening of the blood, decrease in iron absorption, etc. So all your wraps, all your stuff should be not yeast free.
So, a lot of women have issues with anemia.
And every woman who has an issue with anemia also has yeast infections.
Right, and so they drink beer, which is yeast. They drink wine, which is yeast.
And
They
sulfites.
eat sugar. They eat bread, which has yeast. And sugar, right? So all
And
of these
synthetic salt.
things are going against their natural, physiological.
That's right. That's right. And you're going to see the evidence of that. So, the anemia is because of all of the things that are blocking iron absorption and creating a low quality blood. Because the blood is being made in the intestines from the food that you eat. So, if the food is not plant based, you are not making blood.
So they don't have like pizza that has plant.
I make pizza that's plant based.
I was making a joke. I'm talking about you know.
I'm saying, yeah, I know. But you can ask that question, you got to know something. Because transitional food is psychological.
Okay.
All right. So people used to eat pizza like, oh, I like eating pizza. Okay, let me help you psychologically. I'll make you a pizza out of plants to help you out.
I need to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll make some next week.
Please.
I'll make some pizza next week. Yeah, I usually make that for my children. See, because let me sidebar real quick. We are in a propaganda war at all times in the United States of America. Your children, even when they're sitting in the back of a seat, I watch my children talk to me about what they're seeing, the images, billboards, whatever. They're downloading all of that. And so one of the things that makes people feel uncomfortable is if they feel, this is a natural inclination that you have to work with. If they feel like they're being isolated from the greater group. So they know friends that eat pizza, they have family members that eat pizza, they start thinking, why don't I eat pizza? And you tell them, like, oh, that pizza is not proper because it has this. But we can eat pizza. Here. And they taste it like, wow, I can eat pizza and it's healthy. What's happening to their psychology? Even though this might sound bad to you, stick with me for a moment. Because a situation of competition has been slated, and they're in that dynamic, they feel like their competition is better.
Right.
Because you don't want them to be on the other side of that equation where they feel like their competition is worse, because then they're going to go with the group. And if we didn't have the whole dynamic of capitalism, and we didn't live amongst Europeans, and we lived amongst ourselves, we wouldn't have to engage that.
Exactly.
But we're here in reality, so you have to understand the psychosis of, especially with children, because that's where we get these things when we're adults. We want to class, I drive a better car than you, I'm better, It's not a good psychology to have, but you can groom and wean your children away from it. First of all, by building strong bodies, because strong bodies that don't have weak thoughts. And so as they get older, they'll understand that, oh, I'm eating this way because it's to sustain my life and my health and my, you know what I mean? When they're younger, they get it a little bit, but then they just kind of trying to adopt the concept. All right. So white flours, white sugars, granulated, all this stuff, do not eat it. Don't eat it. It's refined substances that are going to clog your arteries and your veins, create atherosclerosis, high blood pressure, on. All animal milks. We are not babies anymore. If you didn't get breastfed, you missed your opportunity. All right? Maybe your wife will be good to you if she's pregnant and give you your only glass of healthy milk that you ever had.
I was going to ask you that question.
In some countries, that when the woman is breastfeeding the children, she'll make milk for the rest of the family too. Some cultures do that. I don't know about you getting black women to feed you breast milk. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Hey, listen, y'all putting your mouth on them anyway. Y'all already reenacting the act. Please, God.
Please. I heard somewhere that you only supposed to like take in breast milk for like the first 5 years of your life or something like that.
Yeah, there's stories, well not stories, there's positions on that. Some people say the first 2 years, some people say 6, some people say, you know, until the mom stops producing it. Because I don't have breasts, I'm not going to necessarily speak on it. But at the comfort of the child and the mother, you know, that's their contract. So I don't want to intervene on their contract. Because of the content in breast milk, you could drink it anytime. I mean, for the sake of nutrition. But for the sake of socialization, you know, you got those factors in, you know, because maybe a mom doesn't want to be, she might be tired. Like, listen, you 5 now. Go ahead and get some fruit. Get something. I gotta, you know, because breastfeeding takes a lot of energy off a woman.
One, hopefully it isn't too bad, but I know my sister did it probably to like age 4. Which it was there was an interesting dynamic to watch. However, what I don't put me on because of that.
Right.
Yeah. So the thing that I found is that he is much healthier. He's stronger. He has a natural physiological body. I'm looking like, whoa. He has never had shots ever.
Yes.
Anytime they try to make him have shots, and he's going on like 17 now, but yeah, she's always, nope, you don't need it. So, I mean,
yeah, that's
the
evidence.
And if you study the breast milk of women, why do you think they made African women feed the white children?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
They want to make some supermen.
Yep.
And women.
Yep.
That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. All right. So other foods you want to stay away from. Let's get through this. Garlic. Garlic has an acidic oil called allele, and it is a blood thinner. Garlic should only be taken when you have been food poisoned to cure yourself of like food poisoning or something of that nature. Otherwise, it will thin the blood and create anemia. All right. Mushrooms. Mushrooms are not even plants. All right. They have no roots, no real fruit grow from them. They are heterotrophic organisms, which means they grow off of the rotting of other organisms. They are things that don't grow in the sun. Well, Dr. Sabi told us to eat mushrooms. All right. That's cool. Dr. Sabi is one of our elders. We love the brother. But sometimes we can take 99% of what somebody says and take the 1% and then put it to the side. You can test any food to see whether it's nutritious by doing what's called monofooding. Monofooding is eating only that food for a long period of time, 7 days, 14 days, 30 days. And if the food is good for you, you'll get all the nutrients that you need. If it's not good, you're going to start seeing signs that it's not good quickly. No one in this room will be able to eat only mushrooms for 30 days without having some severe biological reactions. Because mushrooms don't have the nutrition you need for your body. They're high in fungal content, and we should not eat anything that is not a phototropic food, sun-based food. Okay? Collard greens. Kale. I should reference some of these. Let me slow down. There's one type of kale that you can eat. It's the natural kale. It looks like a dinosaur. It's called dinosaur kale or black kale. That's the only kale that's natural. All the others are hybrids, and they're just like collard greens. They're high in oxalates, and they will leach your body of minerals. All right. The main broccoli that they sell in the store is high in nitrogen. That's why it gives you gas. So you want to reduce your amount of broccoli because it also has oxalates. Oils, canola oil, all types of GMO oils. No oil should be used in food except coconut oil. Reason being is because none of the oils are hydrophilic. They're all hydrophobic. Hydrophobic. Phobia means to repel. Hydro means water. It repels water, which means it dehydrates you.
What about avocado oil?
No.
No.
The only oil you want to use is coconut oil. Avocado oil, I'm not going to say don't eat avocado. I'm going to say avocado is a transitional food. I'll say that. Say it like that. Transitional food. Transitional food. Meaning that if you're on a certain diet, I would say class C, you can keep the avocado, but because of the high, first of all, avocado is a nut. You need to understand that.
Right.
As far as species, it's a nut. Okay? And then the meat around it is high in oils, and it's also high in a substance called tyramine, which is a component substance of tyrosine, which is what you find in cheese. That's why you have the feel of avocado, the cheesy feel. It's because of that substance. And so you don't want to get too much of that substance in your body because it causes high fermentation. High levels of fermentation. So going back to oils, the only oil you want to use is coconut oil because it's the only one that absorbs in water. It's hydrophilic, as opposed to hydrophobic. Any other oil that you're using, you're risking clogging your arteries and your veins. If you use the oil, you can. The best way to help break it down is to use lemons with the oil. Come to the brother.
Is coconut a nut?
Coconut is a nut, but it's the only nut that has water on earth that we know of. It's the only hydrating nut.
Right.
All the other nuts are almonds and, you know. And avocado is close because avocado has water in it too. That's why they're on that line. Coconuts are a vital food. You need that one. Right. Avocado is kind of transitional because it does give you some slight hydration, but it's too oily, and it has the tyramine in it.
Because I remember you talking about this before. When it comes down to the coconut, you can actually take the water from the coconut and do it direct.
Yeah.
In a
IV.
drip.
Yeah, IV.
So so when you said that, I mean that kind of like rang a bell for me, because if you can actually do a direct intravenous drip with it, then anything that would come from it would tend to be good for the body. And I don't know of any other substance.
Possibly. The water is high in mineral content, high in everything, is hydrating.
Mm-hmm.
The pulp of the coconut is a good food, but you don't want to eat too much of it.
Okay.
You don't want to eat too much of it because it does have phytic acid in it.
How much of that should you be eating just basic?
Maybe if you're eating it twice a week, you cool. If you're eating it every day, it's like, okay, I'm eating too much coconut meat.
Okay, so you can drink the water every day.
Yeah, the water should be drinking as often as possible.
But the meat itself should only reasonably be consumed.
Yeah, you have a reasonable diet with it. Maybe twice a week, you're adding it to something, or you're eating it, or you're blending it up with something, or you're putting it in a smoothie, or something like that.
But it shouldn't be smooth. You shouldn't use it in a smoothie each day, then, for the most part.
I would say if you're adding something like lime to the smoothie, you could do it every day.
Okay.
It'll help break down or destabilize the phytic acid.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, goitrogens. Goitrogens are food that adversely affect the thyroid and the parathyroid. All right, and they affect what's called TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, because they are iodine inhibitors. Most of the strawberries that you eat are iodine inhibitors. They're goitrogens. So if you have a thyroid problem, you'll notice that your thyroid problem gets exacerbated by eating strawberries. So you don't want to eat too many strawberries. Most of the nuts are goitrogens, so you want to watch out for those too. If you're eating them, you want to soak them. All right. If you're going to eat spinach, make sure it's organic spinach, please, because if you eat non-organic spinach, it's infused with E. coli. All right. Do not eat wheatgrass. Be careful of golden seal as a supplement.
No wheatgrass?
Do not eat wheatgrass, please. Wheatgrass is nothing but clone grass, literally.
Let the dogs pee on the grass.
Mm-hmm. Cranberry juice, because of its high acidity, be careful with it. Do not eat any seedless fruit. Oranges. Do not eat too much orange juice because it produces mucus. Do not eat any non-organic limes or lemons or either one without seeds. Try to find limes and lemons with seeds or key limes with seeds. Alright? Potatoes. If you eat potatoes, make sure you soak them thoroughly in warm water for at least a half hour to an hour. Maybe with a substance like ginger to reduce the possibility of getting gas. There is a lot of energy on the inner pulp of potatoes. If you're an athlete, it's an excellent food to eat to get a good burn as far as fuel, but you don't want to eat too many. Carrots. Try to eat the purple carrots and the brown carrots. The orange carrots are hybrids, and they're very starchy. They can cause a lot of clogging. Be very careful of non-organic beets. They're using specialized pesticides in those. Any genetically altered food, any GMO foods, look for the labels.
Jake, when you said the potatoes, that's not including the Irish potato, is it?
Any type of potato, it doesn't matter.
Now, Dr. Jewell, she talks about the Irish potato, and she says that because of the glycogen molecule is aberrant to her brain functioning. So she talks about how it creates a dumbing down of the body. She said that the only organ in the body that can actually digest the glycogen molecule is the brain. So she said normally when you eat, if you eat a lot of Irish potato, white potato, what it does is it actually shuts down the functioning, because the brain has to actually do the digestion of that particular food.
I would have to either consult with her on what she was trying to say, or get an idea, because glycogen is a form of glucose. In the brain, first of all, every cell needs glucose.
Well, she said the type in that potato.
Oh, in that potato.
In that,
Okay,
she said the type of
I got you.
glycogen
I got you.
molecule in
I got
that potato is aberrant toward brain function.
Right.
That's why she said, she talks about if you're going to do potatoes, it needs to be like the sweet potato, the purple potato. But she said the Irish potato, if I remember, prior to 1940s, it was only consumed by pigs. So they use it for, for feeding hogs, but it wasn't consumed by humans, from my understanding. So.
Okay. And so now it goes back to what is an Irish potato, because that will solve the problem. Yeah, we would have to consult what she's trying to get at. I do understand what she's saying, because now you're dealing with certain potatoes, like those potatoes you named, grow in tropical or certain areas, and certain potatoes grow outside of the tropical area. So that would make sense to me completely what she's saying. First of all, most ground provisions that grow, or sea provisions that grow outside of the equator are toxic. Like I said, the sea moss. You can get sea moss from Rhode Island versus sea moss from Jamaica. Sea moss from Jamaica is going to have pores in it, and it goes through photosynthesis, so even the color looks different, as opposed to some little sea moss that you can buy at a little store that it's non-porous, so it doesn't absorb in water, so you can wash the two. So I would go and agree with you on that. The tropical potatoes are the ones that we want to focus on. And then even with that, soaking potatoes is important, because you'll notice sometimes when you eat potatoes, you get gas, and that gas is from the high starch content. It's polysaccharides versus monosaccharides. Polysaccharides are for membrane building in the body, and so they are more coarse, and so you want to put them in an environment so that when you're taking those in, you can better digest them. That's what I'm going to digest them. All right, so we went through our basic foods to watch out for. All right, and I want to go through one more thing, and then we can take a quick break, and then I want to come back for like 15 minutes and go through. So this book has a whole bunch of foods that you can go through. Actually, I'm gonna come off of this and go back to this concept for the past. All right, so I got a few things to say. So now, for this fast, so we know some of the things that we want to watch out for as far as eating. Where am I? All right, there we go. Oh, we back. Okay. We know what we want to watch out for. Now, hydration. In your meals, you want to eat fruits and vegetables to reduce the need to drink water. We shouldn't be drinking. People telling you to drink gallons and gallons of water are flooding your body with too much water. All right? Most of your water should be gained from the vegetation and the fruits that you eat. All right? To hydrate you properly. Because they're already in a state of mastication to directly be absorbed into the body. And so if you are drinking the water, the best water type to drink is to do this process. The water is distilled and you're adding liquid plant minerals to it. From some type of herbal solution that you have, chlorophyll that comes from plants, something. That's the best type of water to drink. Per gallon, you can take 3 vials of chlorophyll or mineral substances, whatever it is that's plant-based herbs, added to it to raise the pH up and to give it the balance. Because you can't drink distilled water because it also leaches the body of minerals. So the water has to have a pH, has to have minerals in it. That's the best. If you're going to use other types of commercial waters, make sure that the waters don't have phosphates and sulfates. Don't want the water to have those. Look at it, it says magnesium sulfate. Don't drink it. Such sulfate, such don't drink it. The water should have electrolytes in the form of bicarbonates. That's what you want the water to have. All right. If they take it through a filtration process to clean it, and they tell you about it on the bottle, that's fine. But you want the water to have bicarbonates. Bicarbonates are small carbon compounds which usually have minerals attached to it, so that you can increase absorption of the water into the body. All right. So when you wake up in the morning, try to wake up before sunrise. And if you're a person that's been eating flesh and all these other things, you want to hydrate yourself and get yourself some fruit, smoothies, whatever inside your body. Okay? If you're on a regular vegan diet or you've been raw food in it, you're cool, you can get up, drink some tea, some water. You want to eat something early in the morning, let it only be fruit, and then you go through your day. Throughout the day, if you're currently a flesh eater, a meat eater, or a high starchitarian, you're going to need to drink water. Because your body is now detoxing and it needs to replenish the water, and you've been eating foods, rices, starches, other things that dehydrate the body, so now you're going to need to hydrate the body while it's going through its transition and fasting. Usually in Ramadan we don't drink water during the day for those who are optimal, but since you're not optimal, you want to drink water throughout the day to keep yourself invigorated. If you feel like you're getting dizzy, any dizzy spells, any of those things, have a smoothie on hand, some apple juice, some type of juice to get your body some nutrients, because what's happening is you're washing out the waste out of your body and your brain needs glucose when you start getting dizzy, headaches. It needs water and glucose. So some fruit juice, something like that will hook you up. Sunset is around 4:50 something. You can have your meal, whatever it may be. Try to keep it clean. Try to make sure that you're eating with family, because the idea, concept behind this indigenous Ramadan and this fast is to increase our communal bond. All right? And if you're doing the prayers and meditations, I'm going to go in order so I can tell you what the prayers and meditations are. The prayers and meditations follow a solar law. You're literally charting the sun. So it is a circadian rhythm frequency. Just like when you wake up, it's because the sun and the earth are going in energetically, and your pineal gland, hypothalamus, and pituitary gland start secreting substances to tell you to wake up. All right? And so the morning meditation is about visualizing your goals. All right? Visualizing what you want to come into existence, which is a law. If you can see it in your mind, all right, you're catalyzing the sphere of energy to make it happen. The midday is about looking at things in your life that require balance, because that is the balance of the day. All right, sun at high noon. Sunset, you're looking to get rid of people and things that serve no functional purpose in your life. Visualize them niggas running away from you. Forever. Off a cliff. Into a ditch. Into a something. Put them in a cage. Do something. Visualize that. And at night is a unified prayer, but it's also the best time to receive communications. So whether you're asleep or whether you're meditating, that's the best time to receive visions or other things for your own family security, self-security. So those are the 4 times: sunrise, noon, sunset, and the Tachahu prayer. Okay? So now you have those, and we'll be going throughout the year to, the month, to activate those. We'll be having certain events and certain things that are going on with the Ramadan, and certain education that's going on, because we need to refurbish our true education of African history and Moorish history, and take away all of the phony baloney people who have stolen your holy days and your celebrations, which were all about retuning your energy. That's the most important thing I can tell you. You can't operate a car, right, and say you're going to drive it without knowing how to fix it or keep it in good inspection. So why would we be in the body if we're not going to keep it healthy and understand the dynamics of the body? So a lot of what we learn in religion is actually esoteric science about the human body, nature, and the universe, and those principles of how to use those to have an efficient society. That's what government was about when your people govern themselves. Our people govern ourselves. Everything else is an illusion. What the fast is also going to tell you is how strong you are. Because parasites have loud voices. And when they start screaming, they'll make you hear them. And they'll say, nigga, I'm hungry. I don't care what that Ali Muhammad said. Nigga, go get that cheesesteak. Ain't nobody looking. They can't see you. Go eat it. We need it. We meaning the colony of parasites. And so now, you're going to have to test yourself to see how much integrity you have, because everybody's not going to be watching you to see whether you're eating after sunset.
That's right.
We might catch you with the crumbs on your mouth and serve the Aboriginal search warrant. But the idea is that this is a will builder and a character builder. All right? Because if you can't fast from something that's natural to you, food, you certainly can't fast from the things that are unnatural. It ain't happening. There's no law in the universe that says that that can happen. All right? So the idea is to build your will. Your will is the only thing that you have in this universe that signifies you, your willpower. And so now you can use it in an efficient manner with cleansing the body, cleansing the emotions at an optimal time to do so. Optimal time meaning optimal time celestially and energetically. Because this is the point on Earth where the Earth is absorbing the highest level of magnetic energy. And the highest point of its absorption of those frequencies we call the winter solstice. Winter solstice. The Moors called it the Laylat al-Qadr, the night of power, which is a special night in Ramadan where Muhammad received the revelation of the Quran. Right? But anybody can receive revelations because we're all messengers. Right? We all have the innate power of divinity. And so now, what you do, and you can experiment with this year and test it out. What people do, and I do this. I know this from reading astrology charts and looking at people. What you're usually doing efficiently or not doing efficiently cycles itself into your next year during this period. So your whole rhythm for the next year post the solstice is set by this energy because of the celestial markings and the movements of the planets and what's happening on the earth. So whatever is important to you, whatever is happening that's major, whatever is going on in your life right now is going to propel itself into the next year. So if it's adverse, you want to remove it. Cleanse yourself of it. You're in a bad relationship, you're going to keep doing it, all right? You're going to have that whole frequency with you for the next 12, 11 months as a scar because you didn't take the time to deal with it at an optimal energetic time of reflection. All right? You having economic problems, you need to focus on things that you can do to increase your economy. Take the next 30 days and say, you know what? Over 30 days, I'm going to increase my knowledge about good credit, trade lines, and business credit. I'm going to study something every day for at least a few minutes. So instead of plopping down and watching a football game, watching LeBron, watching whoever, I'm going to do something to educate myself. So that after the 30 days, I'll be doing something new in my life that is creative, that is productive, that will bring me more smiles. How many people want to do that? Which one?
If I could.
Yes, you can.
Can we put on the table then for the next 30 days we study the economic Bible? Because the thing is this, and you know that's my whole. Because the problem is that I was always taught that this will break a jaw, this will break a finger. So we come together as a unit and study something for 30 days, and after that 30 days, now we go into implementation. Now we're all on the same page. And with the group that I work with, we have a book of the month every single month that we read. And we do it as a unit. So if you notice, I always talk about 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. We study that together for 21-day period, or it really is, it goes longer, but 21 days, not consecutively, but over time. So the thing is that we're studying economic Bible. We all are reading it and doing it for the next 30 days. So you take the amount of pages divided by 30, that's how many pages we need to be reading each day.
Gotcha.
And then even if we communicate via Facebook on our group page and each person go on and say, this is what I got out of it, or this is what I'm beginning to implement, or this way I can see how it's assisting me, or how I can assist others.
Gotcha.
So now it's a functional thing that we're putting into order, and we're literally walking it out. So it's not just a thing where, hey, well, I read it, but what about exercising something with it? So if we could possibly do that, that would be great.
Absolutely. We're going to do that. That's one of our projects now. For 30 days, we will be on our economic Bible. And we can use the social media, we can use these classes, we can use different venues that we have to assert the important parts of it. I would offer that the most important parts that can be actualized probably in 30 days are a complete understanding of tax exemption. All right. That's one we can focus on. A complete understanding of improving your credit. Business, personal, and removal of adverse items. Okay? And I think the third one should be we can't do that one, that takes a little bit longer. How to structure what we talked about last week, business setup to your advantage. So that means at the end of 30 days, everyone will know how to set up a business, the procedure, and if you're able to set up an indigenous business, everyone will know how to, especially the nationals, how to implement tax exemption using your cards and your businesses in all your interfaces, and everyone will know the aspects of improving credit, what forms we use, what is business credit, how do you use it, what's a DUNS number, What's a trade line? How do you access it? That's pretty much the 3 tiers that you'll be using. So yeah, that's a part of our work now. All right. Along with that, I wanted to give a focus to studying traditional astro sciences. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because of this. Misappropriation of energy will always lead to defeat. Say it again. Misappropriation of energy, your own potential, will always lead to defeat. So, if we have people who are better chess players with energy than us, they're going to always defeat us. Because they know how to get our energy and use it to their advantage. And we don't know how to use our own energy to our own advantage. Or the dynamics by which we're supposed to do that by. All right? And so this is the plague of society. All right? These magicians have figured out how to get groups and individuals out of their power. And so now we need to learn our own personal power. Rule number 1. Here's my rule number 1. If you are not engaged in any indigenous divination, spiritual, traditional systems, you have no understanding of life. And what I mean by that is, life is your energy. So if you are not examining some type of system to apply it to your own self on a daily basis, then what are you using? Because you're using something. The brain needs a catalyst of information to guide itself as a GPS operator. So if Jesus is your GPS operator, you're going to hell. Because Jesus is actually the devil. All right. Can the church say amen?
Amen, amen.
Jesus is the devil because white folks gave it to you.
Amen.
And you live in hell.
Amen.
While everybody that's teaching you about Jesus lives in heaven to your detriment.
Right.
Case in point, your energy is going 10% to a individual in a institution. That individual is usually a Mason, or in some instances, if he's not a Mason, he's still holding secrets. And the secrets that he are holding that are most important are the economic and the psychological ones. The economic is he has tax exemption, his car, his house, his everything. He good. He has the ability to deputize you all into ministers for you to use the exemption, and he's not doing it. So he cares nothing about the economic wherewithal. Then he's teaching you from a book, and he's hiding some information and giving you others. He is quick to highlight that you're supposed to give 10%, but he's also not quick to highlight that the Bible says that debt is sin.
That's right. That's right.
So how can you be congregating and teaching to a whole bunch of debtors, which are sinners, when you're supposed to be about their redemption? Is Jesus going to come back and discharge your debt? Since debt is sin, the Lord died for my sins. That means he died for your debt. Does Jesus owe the IRS? You are not making any sense. You're not even thinking. So if the preacher look, the preacher got the exemption. He can help you with some of your debt. He won't give you the exemption, so he's keeping you in debt, which means he's making you a sinner, and according to the book, all sinners go to hell.
That's right.
Break it down.
I'm just saying. The teacher, or the preacher, whatever you want to call him, the reverend, or whoever you want to call him, when they have the meal after church, the meal doesn't meet the Bible. The Bible, Genesis 1:29, tells you to eat fruits and vegetables with seed in it as the basis of your diet. Then somebody made a false accusation on Jesus that said that you said that you could eat pork. Oh, that's not what he said, brother. What he said is, it's not what goes in that defiles you, it's what comes out. Okay. Can you give me the whole context of that verse, please? Because now you're making an excuse to eat pork, which has 3 worms in it. The trichina, round hook, and tapeworm that will completely neutralize any level of health that you have in your body, including physically make you ugly. You start looking like the animal that you eat and grunting around. Brother, what's wrong? You all right? Need some bitters or something? What's going on? All right? So all preachers, you're going to hell this Ramadan. I'm going to send your asses straight to hell. I'm the Archangel Michael. I'm sending you straight to hell. You've been lying too long. You stole all the money. You don't want to help the people. You got them eating swine. Jesus took, look, when the demons wanted to, he cast out some demons for some folk, and they wanted to figure out what.
He ran them into swine, right?
He, listen, y'all want to go somewhere and have it somewhere? Go and have it that herd of pigs over there.
Right.
Damn! You're going to eat where the demons go? You see, this is not making sense.
No, it's not.
Then you're going to celebrate Christmas at the end of all this. At the end of all of this energy, from Black Friday or White Friday to Black Christmas, you're going to act a fool.
Yep.
I mean, act a fool. Wine, liquor, everything. Everything goes now. Nigga, I'm off the plantation. What you mean? Care nothing about what you say. All right. I'm going to be right there at the gates of heaven like, yeah, you don't care nothing about what I say? Got the sword in your eye. Get your ass down there. In the name of Jesus. Yeah. So now look, they took a revolutionary. Right? We can argue about whether he existed. Somebody existed during that time. They took a revolutionary who was against Roman imperialism and stood up and tried to teach you some basic principles of life. Treat the other person as you would treat yourself. I didn't come to destroy the law, I came to fulfill it. All right? All of this stuff. Meanwhile, you in America trying the closest to brown nose to Rome as possible. You got your nose all up Rome's ass. In every way that you can.
That's right. Come on with it, man.
As soon as Rome started talking, you know who Rome is. Rome is represented by the Caesar. Caesar started talking. Don't say nothing about Caesar. Hail Caesar. You know what I mean? This is our people.
Right.
Masking and marauding behind righteous people to carry out their little dirty religion.
Exactly.
And at the basis of it is a bunch of parasites in your body who are having a cookout. They're having a good time. They're having a good time. So now, what we're saying is, let's see how strong we really are. Let's see how strong our faith is. Let's see if we could fast during the day, cleanse ourselves of these things, get ourselves on some projects to improve our information, improve what we're doing, to get our lives in order, to become more brotherly and sisterly to one another, to figure out really how to solve our problems. Right? We see him, Laquan McDonald get killed. Listen, they had a brother in Jersey they showed online. The brother got bit up by a dog so bad by the police, the brother died on the spot. Police had him on the ground. He seized. They let the dog out of the car, police vehicle. The dog is biting him. The police is beating him. He's on the ground, unconscious.
Right.
How are you going to solve that problem if you're a 14th Amendment citizen? Eating swine. Celebrating Christmas. You can't solve those problems with those dynamics. You have to change the way that you're thinking and behaving. All right? So wasn't nobody born on December 25th come back to save your black ass. It's not happening. Right. They stole all of the... I'm going to get to you black power people in a minute because y'all changed it. Y'all changed Jesus for Heru. Or some African in the Osiris or Sar, Maya. Same mentality though. Oh, we're going to do Kwanzaa instead of Christmas. Okay, that's great. Because now you're beginning to celebrate principles. Great. self-determination, all right? All of these other 7 principles that you, purpose, all these things. Kujichagulia, all these, you're saying all these things. As soon as Kwanzaa is over, you're doing the exact opposite.
Exactly.
What happened to the self-determination? What happened to the unity?
Cooperative economics.
What happened to the cooperative economics? What happened to all that stuff you did was just for 7 days? Nigga, I'm going back to the plantation. I'm only meiotic for 7 days a year. Alright? So now we have to look at the substance of culture as the bedrock for transformation. And the substance of culture says that you have to use what your culture is on a daily basis for the subsistence of your life. That's what real culture is. So what do you look like subjecting yourself to eugenic institutions every day, but wearing a head wrap when the event comes to say that you down? You're going to have to figure out how to really be down, how to really work together. All right? And the reason why fasting is good, right? The reason why fasting is good is because it's going to challenge you to focus, to do something in real time. Can't talk about fasting. You can't talk about it. You actually have to go and do it. And feel the energy of the accomplishment of day 1. I made it through. And day 2. Or feel the weakness of, I feel like I want to eat. And then what are you going to implement when those feelings come? You're going to call your brother or sister. I need some support. I'm hungry. What should I do? Drink some water. All right? Take that energy from those lower energetic centers and take it up high. Do something creative. Do something with your children. You feel like you want to eat, you know what you do? Force yourself to do an offering to other people. Go to the store, get some groceries, and take it to the shelter down on right off of Broad Street. Do a kind act for somebody. You'll turn your mind in another direction. Every time you feel weakness come, go to a strength. You see what I'm saying? And then after repeating that act, you are changing the chemistry of your own brain patterns, your own behavior. So at the end of 30 days, you got a new energy. And you begin a new energy, now you can keep propelling that energy into existence. Instead of propelling the other stuff, that we go through. So the idea is to do that. I don't need to take a break to go through that. We can close out on that point. Take some questions. I do have some announcements after the questions just to remind nationals of some things that are coming up. We'll be in New York tomorrow kind of going over this subject again to lay it out. The fast starts, tomorrow's November 30th, right?
Yes.
So tomorrow morning, from tomorrow morning, sunrise to sunset, you're not supposed to be eating.
Right. Okay.
Starting tomorrow.
Got it.
All right? So don't try to go home and be a fool. Oh, here come the fast. Because you know what's going to happen? You're going to be hungry tomorrow. Hydrate yourself, all right? Maybe go for an evening walk, something, to relax the body, all right? Eat something wholesome, all right? Keep yourself hydrated throughout the night, because if you've never fasted before, sunrise is going to be around 7:07, something like that, around 7 o'clock. I know it's going to happen. By 10 o'clock, Parasite's going to be like, hey man, what you doing? What's going on out there? Like, man, go to the refrigerator door. Look at all that stuff in there. It's waiting on us, man.
I'm not fasting.
They're gonna be, that's the parasite. I'm gonna be on the other shoulder like, hey man, what you do in the dark will come to the light. So you're gonna have the yin and the yang or whatever, the good angel and the bad angel on your shoulder. So if you do get hungry during the day though, and you've been challenged, drink water. Just get you a glass of water. If you got supplements, put a little chlorophyll, something. Drink the water. Stay hydrated. Because the hydration will neutralize the parasites at all times. They don't like water. Parasites hate water. Right? And they definitely hate the energy that you add to supplements. So that's another way that you can help yourself. All right. Any questions? Yes.
Would it be suggested for, since we're right here, to actually do the parasite cleanse with Princess Ali, because of course, if you're getting rid of them, it would minimize.
I would recommend that you be careful.
Okay.
And she has the care to talk about the parasite cleanse because she knows that, you know, depending on your level and where you're at, that type of parasite cleanse is a very intense one. Okay? And so, if you have the thought that you've been out of order for quite a while, you don't want to start fasting and do that. Because it's going to be like, I'm going crazy. If you had a pretty healthy diet and you've been, you know, going along, then, you know, so Prince Ali can give you the guidance on that. So detox can be a dangerous thing if you try to speed it up too fast. You want to do it gradually. And some of the signs we've talked about, high nausea, headaches, and those things, that is detox, but it's also a sign of dehydration. Because what happens is parasites get dislodged, and the first two systems they get dislodged into are lymphatic and circulatory. So your feeling of nausea also is them being sent out. They start sending signals like, help!
Mayday, mayday.
Mayday! Make it through the mayday. All right, and then we'll be good.
How about the bitters during this period? Is that
Bitters are great. The bitters actually are excellent because parasites hate bitter herbs. Literally, they hate the bitters. So taking the bitters in increments, staying hydrated, excellent form of, you know, detox. And you'll find if you do that over the first maybe 7 days, your cravings will go away. Bitters actually take cravings away.
I noticed that.
They do.
Yeah.
Because they kill parasites at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
They're knocking them out.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, now, are we going to have to put body cams on people? Like the cops? Like, oh, we got a body cam on brother so-and-so. He forget it.
You said something about an ebook for the meal plans?
The ebook is on the website, governmentreparations.org. You can pay the little minimal fee and download that. It has 45 pages of menus. If you don't know what to make, you know, how to make smoothies, how to make raw soups, how to make all kinds of stuff. How to make quinoa, how to make, you know, different things, how to make nice salads. Yeah, we have that in there to help people who might not be up on the culinary side of things. Because we don't want you going to White Castle at 4:55 like, yo, I'm glad I made it through. Because White Castle got the vegan order now, Brother Ali. They got the vegan, whatever. Yeah, right.
I know you said no cod liver oil. I'm taking the cod liver oil. What about the other fish oils? It's not good for
No, you don't want to take any fish oils. Yeah, those oils are hydrophobic, and so they will block water absorption. For the nutrients that you need,
stay on the earth.
yeah, stay on the earth. You know, make you some nice smoothies filled with some hemp seeds and seaweed, excellent seaweed soups, all that stuff. You know what I mean? You can find a way to get yourself hydrated. See, everything is based on habit. Because now habits are groomed into us. So when we've been doing something, it's hard to stop doing it because we have a mental complex about it.
Yeah,
but this is the time to try to readjust those habits.
Yeah, because I can see where I can save some money.
Right.
Already. With the vitamins.
Yeah.
With the oil.
Yeah.
That's money in my pocket now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We have dinners in the back. We have some split peas and lentils mixed with peppers and black kale, the original. We have Aboriginal slaw back there, mixed with all kind of cabbages and lettuces and arugula and capers and other things. And we have some quinoa back there, so you can get a platter before you leave. Yes.
Two different things. One, you mentioned earlier if you're feeling weak to call someone.
Oh, yes.
But in order to call someone, that means that we have to have one another's phone numbers and things of that nature. So what I suggest is, you know, directly afterwards, speak. You know, if in fact you're on online, go on the Facebook webpage. Hey, I need to contact someone.
Right.
Tuesday night calls, we know it happens, so you can ask for phone numbers there.
Right.
make sure you have someone to reach out to. In other words, what
Right,
I'm saying.
absolutely.
Second thing, one of the things that you mentioned earlier in the Bible, where you talked in Genesis, where it said about, it talked about meat. One of the things that I think, and this has been a theory of mine, I've been working to find it and research it, but when he talked about meat, the plant has meat, or the
Right.
fruit has meat. So I'm always wondering if that was a mistranslation when they talk about meat, whether it was really talking about the meat of a fruit versus the meat of an animal. That's always been a question of mine. So
Right. That's a good question. Well, you know what? In the later books, they definitely talking about flesh because they're talking about split-hood animals and other things. Now, yeah, because they mention the animals,
Right.
what types of hooves they have and all that. In Genesis, they don't necessarily mention that until later when you get Abraham allegedly eating bread, cakes, and meat with angels. Yeah, right. Let me say something. First of all, God does not contradict itself.
Right.
The energy. Energy is not contradictory. So if you have a book and saying one thing in one place and another thing in another place, first of all, you know the book was written by people.
Right.
First of all, you also know that it's Europeans that are translating these books and giving them to you.
Exactly.
Okay. So now the books that we are reading are not the Word of God. We need to, because that's the first thing that people go to say. I don't care what you say. This is the Word of God.
Exactly.
No, it's not. It's the Word of King James.
Right.
It's the word of later scholars.
Translated.
Right. Translated from what languages you definitely not speaking.
Right.
And don't tell me you speaking in tongues. The only tongue you speaking in is the tongue that just keeps eating that swine. You speaking in no tongues. So, mistranslation of men and women, misappropriation, changes in the, listen, this system that we call religion has been compromised. That's the reality of it. And so, our dependency on these things is based on our fear. Because the thing is, we want to know the right way, and we want to do the right thing, and we want to be good. However, we have to elevate our vibration. Because most of us want to be good, because we don't want the consequence. We don't want to be good just to be good, just to get good.
Right.
We want to be good because we don't want to go to
We
hell.
don't want that.
So now, whoever your God is, they're driving you by fear. If you're not good, I'm going to send you to hell. Well, wait a minute. Who created hell? God created hell. Why? For sinners. If God created hell for sinners, why would he bring us a book that contradicts itself to confuse us? Because that's going to make me sin or leave it all alone. First of all, the only book that God ever wrote was the universe.
Right.
Nobody down here can write no universe. Can't make a sun, can't make a moon, can't make a star, can't make none of it, because it takes an infinite power to make those. But I tell you what, I wrote 17 books before. I could go translate Hebrew and write you a Bible and give it to you and say it's the word of God. No! It's the word of Ali. You follow me? So now, we're supposed to be studying real life in order to honor our Creator. That's the first book. So we can look in nature, we can look at ourselves and say, I can't be following God because I can't see my feet because my stomach is too big.
Come on, brother.
Unless God has a fat belly. They tried that one with Buddha.
The Buddha.
Like the original Buddha
I
wasn't
know.
big.
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now, my point is, we all know when we're violating the law because it becomes evident on our own temples. So now we know that we need to correct. If pig is giving you diabetes, it's making you obese, how could you say it's all right with God? No, it's all right with the false God. Because you can't say physician heal thyself and then be sitting in a hospital on dialysis.
Right.
What part of physician heal thyself is that? Then if I give you a fruit and vegetable diet and you start getting better, that's the laws of nature making you better, not the Bible, not the Quran, not the Bhagavad Gita. These are all what? Assimilations of truth at a time by some of our ancestors that all have been tampered with. There's no book on the planet that's calling itself holy that's never been tampered with, including the Egyptian ones. To all you Heru and Osiris addicts. Oh, I read the Medu Netter. Oh, I read this. Who translated? E.A. Wallace Budge. So-and-so. So-and-so. Oh, really? You're just as bad as the King James people. You just hide behind African tradition. And so now we're being challenged in real life to do real things to bring real change. And see, the thing about this is, you don't need a religion to do this fast. All you need is a mouth that can be closed and to test your willpower. Because you can read all the Hebrew, the Arabic, the Medu Netter, you can do all the divination, you can throw cowrie shells. Let's see how strong you really are. To test your own willpower, to see if you can restrain yourself away from desires. Because if you can do that, you're showing civilization and humanity, because you will magnify that same behavior everywhere else. Emotional poise, self-control, and discipline. And so this is a great opportunity for us to put all these fake systems in the headlock and figure out whether we can test ourselves. Because now we ain't got to test Jesus. We ain't got to test Muhammad. We ain't got to test Moses. We can let all of them be dead, because they're dead. Right? They're gone. And we can test living reality. And so what I've found is the greatest thing that's the problem with human beings is they don't want to take responsibility for their own actions. Voila. We're going to blame everybody. So-and-so did it, this did it, that did it, this why, that why. No, you did it. Take responsibility for your own actions. And then you can be your own God. Because that's what you are anyway. All right? You're a walking individual that's responsible for itself. And no matter how many fingers you point, at the end of the day, there's only one person in that mirror.
That's right.
Can't bring your wife in like, yo, take a selfie. Nope, you only selfie.
Like that.
You know what I mean? Can't bring your children in. Y'all did it. Y'all niggas did that. Nope, they ain't do it. You made them. All right? Can't bring nobody in. Got to take accountability for ourselves. So this is an opportunity. All right, we got 30 days to do a self-check. Let's do it. Any other questions, statements before we make some announcements? First announcement for the people online too. Nationals. Go to governmentreparations.org and update your information on the nationality registration link. Update your information. We need to know you exist. For new nationals, we need to do background checks. If there are sections that you don't want to put information in, you have the right not to put it in, and you can put in zeros. In the places where we're asking for birth certificate information, social security information, that is either to do background checks or to inaugurate a lawsuit that we want to do for August of 2016. And what those numbers show is that the foreign venue denationalized you as an indigenous person and use security receipts as a means to do it. All right? That's the evidentiary part. That they're denationalizing us in violation of international law, domestic law, all those things, and they're trying to hold us in those status. And so we want access to that information to be able to prove it. But if for some reason you decline to put that, that's cool. We do need your name and, you know, all the updated information so we can make sure that you're on the books. Second thing, all nationals have a responsibility to pay dues. Dues will not be paid in class. Dues will be paid electronically, online. That means you have to take your little credit, debit card, go online, and pay the dues online. All right? Next thing, class attendance. Class attendance. Protocol manual says that nationals must attend class for a certain amount of time during retract. Protocol manual says if you are in official capacity or a jurist, you must attend class. Gotta say that. And we're saying that because it helps with the class flow. all right? Or it helps with other things, all right? Nationals, you should also be studying your preamble and your general orders for memorization, all right? Because you will be tested on those as a form of rites of passage, which 12 general orders in the protocol manual and the preamble is in the protocol manual and in the Constitution. All those available online. All right? We need to get in the form of memorization. Very simple thing. There's nothing to go. We, the Aboriginal people, all right? Blah, 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 blah. We should be able to memorize that. Because it's our vision. That's our group vision. So why not entrain it onto our brains? All right? The New York class will be going over these things recurrently. I'm going to ask Brother Hakeem for us to do the classes a little bit later. Reason why, well, I don't know. Maybe we'll ask. Reason why is because I know how we are. If we can come to class and break fast in class, it's better than leaving here at 2 o'clock and then you wandering to
Churches.
no man's land.
Other churches.
So what do y'all think here? We could do the class from basically from 3:30 to 5 if we ask hot, or 3 to 5 or something like that, and then break fast at the end of class. Then we can all sit and eat together. Or if y'all don't want to do that, we keep it the same, and I would just be making a change just for the month so we can eat together. Or we could keep it the same, and then keep the same rhythm. And I don't want to disrespect anybody because I know we all have responsibility, family, things like that. So if we're on a rhythm and that's an issue, then let's keep the same rhythm. What do y'all think? And I'm good with either or. I'm just thinking about the communal. If you have no plans on being communal in this aspect, then you got business to take care of because you have a set schedule. You can think about it. But we're going to shorten the classes, make the classes maybe like an hour and a half, so we can get right down to talking about what we talk about. Then we can sit, break bread together, break fast in class.
What time is the what time did you say?
Sunset? Around 4:50, between 4:50 and 4:55 usually.
So you normally you break the fast at that time? Or?
Yeah, at that time.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Not with me.
It's up to y'all.
I'm good. Either way we choose to go.
I would have to readjust some of my business appointments that normally happen after.
Okay. Okay, so let's well, we're gonna be having events too, because I plan on having 2 events at least here before the end of October. So let's keep it the same. Keep it the same for now. And if we make some changes, we can make them with the mindset that we could possibly be making them, and then y'all can let me know next week how that flows. What do y'all think about that? So it's not abrupt. Okay. All right, so we'll keep class the same here. Class tomorrow in New York will be the same time. So, but remember the fast starts a.m. So when that sun comes up, all right, we're gonna have the Aboriginal security cameras all in your house. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be a Facebook alert. Like, like what's going on in my house? You have a big sign, busted. First day. So let's see if we can make it through without, doing it. If you have challenges tomorrow, all right? I mean, literally, because sometimes your body can be telling you you're having some challenges. And so first thing is to hydrate yourself. Next thing is to get you some herbal supplements, to use those to infuse the body with something. And if you're still feeling a little queasy, try to give the brain some glucose, the body some minerals by eating an apple, banana, something of that nature to get some, and that should carry you, through the day. So you can continue on the path of not taking a, heavy meal. And that's it. I don't think I have anything else. Do we have any other announcements for nationals or anything of that nature? If there's somebody who having problems with doing the nationality registration information, I can leave my computer up here and you can come in and fill the information out if you don't know how to do that at home. Because it's literally like a 3-minute thing, name, blah, 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 submit, it goes straight to our email so we can catalog those updates. If not, then you can do it at home. But we need those updates before, this little fake holiday season goes out. All right, so we can stay on business point. Some of you will be receiving an email probably tonight or tomorrow morning because we're having a conference call for the Ministerial Congress Wednesday night, So that information will be emailed to you. That will be the 9 ministries coming together because we have to have a meeting to get them ready. So some of you will be receiving those, some of you online. That's it. I can't think of nothing else. All right, brothers and sisters, we are done. Let's close in prayer so we can get back safely to our destination and get out of here today. Thank you for taking your time out to come and hear us talk and speak and to get clarity on things. And we want you to get back to your destination, go enjoy your families for the evening so we can start our day again. I'll say the prayer first in the original language and then I'll say it in English. You can follow silently by closing your eyes or you can just stand at attention. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. In the nature and power of the Creator of all life, all praise belongs to the Nourisher, Sustainer, and Possessor of power over all things, the Master of spiritual insight, the Perceiver of all truth, Master of all judgment. You alone do we seek for assistance and aid. Guide us on the correct path, the path upon whom divine power is bestowed, not upon the path of those who have wrath brought down upon them, nor of those who are misguided. Amen. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for coming out today. We appreciate you, family. If there are people who need to update their information, I will open up this website so you can get access to that.